Thank you for joining me tonight. Tonight we're going to cover a very interesting topic. It's a topic that a lot of people feel and talk about, but you don't see it that much. People don't want to express this to each other in case the other will run away. And this topic is called the dark night of the soul. So what is a dark night of the soul? We might ask ourselves, what is that? Well, there are a number of dark nights. You may have a dark night of the soul when you lose your job, you lose a relationship. Your heart may be broken. You want that person back or your job. Or this may come in your life when you've been searching and meditating and doing spiritual practices for 20, 30, even 40 years. And when that comes, there's another kind of longing, a feeling of almost hopelessness at times. They both have that sense of hopelessness. I'll never get it right, or what's going on here? You feel guilty, you feel sad, you feel abandoned by God even sometimes. Or what is God? So there's a lot of questions that come up. And people even have the thought sometimes that they want to end their life. And today I want to talk to you about that, because why you're going through such a time is not because you're supposed to end your life, not because you're unworthy, not because you're not absolutely loved and loved. Why is because it's a gift. This dark night of the soul is a gift. And what is the gift? Well, the question you want to ask yourself is, what's dying? Why do I feel like I want to die? What is it that wants to die? You want to ask yourself. What is it that wants to die? It's not you that wants to die. The real you, the infinite you, the you that sees and knows. It's the ego. And we go, no, it's not the ego. I mean, look at this world, I have to do this, and this in this world, and be this person. Well, that's all ego. This idea that we have to be somebody. We have to be seen in a particular way. We have to be loved in a particular way. We have to wear particular things. That's all ego. The identities that we carry, that we've gotten from our relatives, our mother, our father, our friends, all of the things that we have to uphold is what causes the suffering and makes us want to go. We're not enough. The soul cries out. Well, not the soul. The part of us that believes we're that ego cries out, I can't go on anymore. I can't face another day. I know we've all hit those days. But again, it's a gift. What can't we face? What is it that we can't face anymore? We can't face our self-judgment anymore. We can't face our separation anymore. That's what we're up against. That's what we're unable to face. And that's ourself. So if we feel that we can't face this anymore, then we have to go, oh, wait a minute. Who is it that doesn't feel they can face it anymore? And who that is not you. Who you are just sees it as it is. It doesn't have judgment. It doesn't place judgment on what it sees. And it's not defined by it. And that's where we lose our power. And once we lose our power, we feel like we want to die. It's natural. But it's just a misconception. We have never lost our power. We are the spiritual beings. Just having this human experience. We're not human beings striving to have spiritual experiences. No. It's the other way around. Because we're love. We're love. We're nothing but love. And the grief you're feeling is just things falling away. Parts of you changing. So you left that job, or you've lost that job, or your spiritual practices aren't doing well. So what? Who cares? Why care? Why care? Why do we care so much? That's the ego. Anytime we care so much, it's the ego. And so the ego wants to die, really. I mean, it's kind of strange. It wants so much, and it drives us so much, but really it wants to die itself. So maybe we have to just let it die. And how do we do that? Well, we don't do it. That's the thing. We're not the ones that do this. This is the gift. We're in this process despite our egos, despite ourselves, we're in this process. And we can't look back. It's like being on a wave. And just know that that wave is love, just pure love. And I'm going to read from a poem, or read a poem, rather, that I wrote in my first book, The Magic Doorway into the Divine. And this breaks down some of the feelings you have in the dark night, and why you have them. Not that we ever know why, but what they can possibly lead to. And it's called To Enter the Darkness. And as I read the poem, I'm going to break it down somewhat. To enter lovelessness for the sake of love. Because in the dark night we feel there's no love. No one loves us. There's no one there for us, no family, no friends. Nobody cares. But that lovelessness is for the sake of love. That's the gift. And to enter forgetfulness, we forget. We've forgotten who we are. That's why we're suffering. To enter forgetfulness for the joy of remembering. And what do we remember? Our infinity. Our absolute, infinite self. And to enter terrible loneliness. As you know, the loneliness can be pretty brutal during this time. You feel like your heart's broken in half. And your longing, if you're in a spiritual life, your longing can become so great that you don't feel like you can bear it anymore. Or if you've lost anything of value, that same feeling arises. And what is that loneliness for? To know all oneness. And what is all oneness? All oneness is where we just know how loved we are, and we see every single person in our world in that way. And ourselves, and our family, regardless of how isolated they may or not be. We begin to see everything as one. It's one thing. It's love. I mean, you can get to the point where you can bend down and kiss the sidewalk. Even the sidewalk's love. It's to know all oneness. There would never be wars if we could see the oneness. The only reason we have wars is because we see only separation. So part of this is to bring us to all oneness, where we see through the eyes of the divine, or God, or whatever way you want to perceive it. But it's the infinite that you're seeing in that. And why do we enter into darkness? Only to discover supreme light. That's why. So we can discover supreme light. And to enter and believe, which we do in the dark night, we believe all of this. We believe anything, actually. Doubt, guilt, confusion, fear, all of it's up, all the time. We're just like, oh my God, I'll never get through this. But one day, the veil opens. It's removed, and it's removed to reveal perfect love. One day you'll realize that, no, that's not who I am. I'm not doubt. I'm not guilt. I'm not bad. I'm love. I'm absolute love. What made me think I had to believe that? So that veil one day will be removed. And then to cry the tears of separation. The soul's tears of separation. Because the soul just treks around, follows us around. This poor ego, that just pulls everything along. And it wants freedom. It wants it to return, the oversoul, to who we really are and have always been. It doesn't want to do this human striving thing anymore. It's tired. You know how tired you are right now? Well, that's what your soul feels like, tired. It's like, oh my God. So the soul's tears of separation. And then we grieve and long for something formless. We reach that point where we just grieve and long for that formless place of oneness, allness, everything that we are, everything that we've always been, until these very tears transform themselves into divine nectar, replenishing and renewing the broken heart. And to grow so tired, as I said, just so tired. You must be tired. The Dark Night of the Soul group. You must be tired, because that's what happens in the Dark Night of the Soul. You grow so tired of believing, of hoping, or trying to be anything, that the nothingness becomes the place of supreme peace. And then finally, to return home to that which was never left, fuller, wiser, and filled forever, never needing to look away again. So I ask you, if you're in the dark night of the soul, Embrace it as the gift that it is. Thank you. I love you.